Welcome back, travelers, to Legendary Lore. And we're here. I forgot you have headphones on. Oh, say hi, Joe. Good job, Joe. We're talking about the final episode of the Kaldheim series. And I can almost guarantee if you don't know what's coming, you're not going to see it.
I don't even know what's coming.
You don't even have a clue.
And that's because I got a Kaldheim Fat Pack.
That's true. You should
You
have
should
at
buy a
least
Kaldheim Fat Pack.
I want a Kaldheim Fat Pack. Those dice are beautiful.
It
Now,
was amazing.
as a
Before we
turns
get
out,
into the video, look at this die.
the DOOMSKAR is over Bredegard, which is where the humans are. Oh yeah, show off the die.
Look at this.
It's hard to see, but it's beautiful.
My webcam isn't the best, but
That is such a solid die. I want it. I want that die. Anyway.
not a sponsored video, but get yourself a Kaldheim Fat Pack.
Oh, if only it were sponsored. We need about 1,000, 10,000 more people.
Not too hard.
It's a paltry number. Just share it with all your friends. Okay, anyways, back to the story. This one's a long one. So,
Oh, ready.
you read the full thing if you want the full experience. I'm just going to kind of just tell you what's going on with the little bits. So they're talking about how everything is falling apart. They're telling each other, look, we've lost this entire eastern fold has been taken by trolls. It's insane. And they're like, well, the Kana, are they having any trouble? One of mine brought down a demon. And it's like, oh yeah, demon, nothing. Don't worry about it. And they're like, well, what are you doing here? So, well, all the clan leaders. And so it turns out the two people that are talking, the small guy talking, of course, is Arni, and the older guy is Finn. So these two guys are the leaders of the red and the green factions of the humans. Inga, of course, is the leader of the blue, and Sigrid is the leader of the white. And then, of course, they have their two other strangers that are with them. It's Tyvar. Tyvar. And Kaya. So... And so you have these 6 individuals here trying to basically figure out, okay, what are we going to do about the fact that the entire apocalypse is upon us? What do we do? And so Tyvar's like, look, I know the elves are a problem, but I can go talk to my brother. Talk him down. Things will be cool. Cool? We'll try that. And Finn's like, I'll talk him down. About 6 feet down. He's like, okay, Finn. Okay, Finn, calm down there. Calm down, buddy. It's my brother.
Tyvar's Harold's brother.
Tyvar and Harold and brothers.
Oh, I thought they were. Okay. I thought Harold was like an older family member.
No, they're brothers. Tyvar sought glory. Harold sought to bring them together, the two different clans. So Sigrid, who up until this point hasn't really shown up, she is I guess you can see the head of the Bredegard humans. She is the god favored, and so she's like, okay, hey, don't insult my guests, because I'm a Frith. And so Finn's like, okay, whatever. So what's the plan? You have some like huge idea of like daring and bravery, I expect. No, hold on. That was wrong. So Finn's like, okay, fine, we'll work together. What's the plan? Arnie's like, so I'm assuming there's some sort of plan, and that I will require active stupendous daring and bravery. I understand the odds are against us about this. About this, he didn't seem terribly concerned. He's smiling the entire time, of course. And Sigurd's like, yeah, okay, trolls, demons, giants, both frost and fire. Everything is terrible. We even got the Dreadmarn showing up. The Dreadmarn, of course, being those zombies that Tybalt had mentioned earlier. The whole reason that entire group exists is because they made a deal with Egon that they could live forever. And Egon was like, yeah, you'll exist forever? So all that's going down, and they're saying, look, we have the key, the sword of the realms. And so Arni's like, oh, look, they finished it. That's great. And so the only person that knows how to use the sword other than Tybalt is
Halvar.
Halvar. Thank you, Joe. Brilliant. I could not remember his name. I thought I was going to say Kaivar, but I was like, that's wrong. That's really wrong. That's a combination of Cole and Tyvar, not Halvar. The point being, they know that if they can get it to Halvar, he'll be able to use it and possibly seal the Doomskar, which means that there won't be an entire endless flood of demons, zombies, trolls, giants, and other unpleasant things coming down upon them. So all they have to do is get to him. Not too hard, except that he's in the middle of the battlefield because he's the god of battle. So they literally have to cut their way through this entire war zone in order to get to Halvar, or at least even have a chance. So Alrund has been keeping track of things, and he with his bird Haka, the raven I told you about, and so they all basically like figured it out, and so they're now riding giant birds. Sigrid, Finn, and Inga on one, Arni, Kaya, and Tyvar on the other, because of course Arni is going to be riding with the planeswalkers.
Of course, Arni and Tyvar are going to be together. That sounds like the best team ever.
And it's a team you could actually make. You could just get like some kind of Jund commander and just go to town.
Tyvar, okay, we're going to deck that guy in the schnoz.
Me first. So yeah, there's like steam coming out, and then there's like ice coming out, and there's like everything is just going all over the place, and there's the Draugr, the zombies are showing up, and they just start to kind of cut through them. There's even troll zombies. It's an insane event. Everything is here. Everything is falling apart. There's just fight after fight after fight. And it's really well choreographed and written. I say choreographed because I think along the lines of screenwriting and I picture it, but it's all really well written. I'm not going to go into the details of it as usual, just so that you can get the general story beats. But Varigoth is here, and Varigoth wants to stay here. So, but Tyvar's eyes, as he turned to face her, locked into something else. A shadow passed over her. Then the bird's glossy black feathers grew marginally darker as something moved between her and the sun above them. It's Varigoth. He knocks out that bird hard. Somehow he flies, but his card is not flying. I guess it was too much of a strength to give him an evasion when he can boast the way he does.
Yeah.
And so now she's falling down through the sky, and he's bad. Because she doesn't have the raven's knocked out, not just knocked out. It's pretty much dead because Varigoth is just stabbing, cleaving the raven with his axe. And so she's like, okay, I don't know what to do. We're going to die. We're going to hit the water, and it would literally just crush us. Tyvar probably can't do anything at this distance because he needs to like set it up. Arni's not going to do anything, and I mean it's over, right? And so she grabs hold of Arni. So, well, I'll just describe it. She grabs hold of Arni. So we're going to run him through the strap, keeping his broadsword across his back. Straighten your body, push back your arm, she screamed over the roaring wind. He did so, and she followed suit. Immediately after, they were falling faster, angling toward Tyvar's chiseled abs. Below the grass was the no longer vague yellow shading, but waving stalks. She could make out the blocky steel blades of the Draugr, their armor still rimed with the frost. They're almost to the river. She couldn't miss. It had to be now. They collided with Tyvar. About 5 seconds before they hit the surface. Another second to summon up the energy she needed. One more to turn all three of them insubstantial. The last 3 seconds were just enough moments to spare. Darkness and cold swallowed them. It wasn't just the chill of the water rushing around them either. The cold filled her, was her. No hot blood rushed through her veins. No air in her lungs. No steady heartbeat reminding her with each thrum that she was alive. Basically, she turned all three of them into ghosts. And then once they had like been in the water long enough, she made them substantial enough to be able to go back up. Arni was the one that caught the branch along the bank with Kaya's help. They hauled Tyvar out of the water. He was still gasping for air, clutching his arms as if freezing. It was lucky, she guessed, that the Draugr on all sides seemed too surprised to take a swing at them before she'd found her footing again. Now, Joe, this all happened, of course. And Tyvar's on the ground like freaking out, right? Because he got ghosted, and he was like, huh, huh, huh. And Kaya, because of everything that just happened, it was kind of like, huh. And she's obviously fine, right? And She steps backwards, nearly trips, and is like in danger. And who's there right beside her, right in front of her, already cutting off the limbs of zombies like nothing, with a huge smile on his face? But the absolute mad lad, Arni.
I love him.
Getting phased did not phase him in the slightest. He just was like, hey, how you doing?
It's like, oh snap, I wasn't I'm good now? I'm good now. Okay, back to business.
And she's like, how are you smiling? And then Arnie's like, you two go on ahead. I'll keep this lot busy. Least I could do after you broke my fall with that spooky magic of yours. And it's like, this is beautiful. And so Arnie, for his last bit in the story, was able to hold back an entire legion of zombies because he hasn't done enough crazy things.
I can't wait to come back here and see Arnie again.
And like Arnie is a god. He's the only indestructible god. And so
Better, he stays a human and is still indestructible.
Yeah. So as they're going, they see a dire wolf and they see a whole bunch of other stuff, and they hear the horn, a battle horn. And there it is. The what?
Sounds like a dire situation.
Ha! It's elves. All the elves with the herald at the front. And Tyvar's like, look, I need to go over there. And it's cool because he says, I can't let my people fight and perish for Tybalt's lies, for Tybalt's treachery, as he says it. He says, my brother stands at the head of this army, and I know I can make him see reason. And she's like, okay, you do you. And he's like, thank you.
So did Tyvar and his brother get along?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there's a struggle for Skemfar, of course, which is it's a fight card. And so she said, I made my professional reputation killing the undead, so I'll be fine. Obviously, she's more used to ghosts than zombies, but yeah, it's pretty much tomato kind of thing, tomato potato. And so she goes and she's cutting through all these zombies, through the trolls and such. And as she's going, she sees a dolphin. And then the dolphin starts just, it turns out that it's Cosima, which is the one who had the omen kill. Who, in her alternate art, looks super angry, like she's screaming at a dolphin for some reason. It doesn't make any sense. And, I mean, I guess that's just how it goes. The point being that Cosima uses her ability to control water to sweep away an entire field of these undead and trolls. And Kaya is able to keep going. And like it kind of realizes that Cosima was the one that made that had the omen kill for her in the first place. And so the two of them work together to get to Halvar. And so they're just cutting through everything. And it's crazy, just like everything that happens in this. And then they see Varigoth, and he's there. And Varigoth's like, look, I am going to kill you. Nothing is going to trap me in Immerstrom anymore. And then she just throws an axe directly at him, clips his horn, and just causes a bunch of tarry blood to just spew out of the horn. Her second axe goes into his knee. And he's like, I'm supposed to get my monologue out, you fiend. And she's like, I know that you're supposed to be really big and scary and intimidating, but I'm not from around here, so I have no cares to give. And so Varigoth is trying to beat her, and she just ducks around him, and then Cosima's there, and she starts cutting into Varigoth, and obviously the guy doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
He retreats. He winds up running away. And so all this takes place. Everything is happening. There's another horn. The elves, they're back. And they're fighting the demons. They're helping the humans. They've joined forces. They're working together. And Tyvar's there. His chest glistening in the sun. the blood of his enemies, having just defined the muscle edges, and his abs are just so the deep ridges of his 20-pack. Where was I? What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So Tyvar and Harold are working together, and Kaya meets Harold, and she's like, oh, hello, I'm very pleased to meet you. And before he can say anything, Vargoth charges the line, killing a ton of elves with an axe, and he's going at it. And of course, Tyvar... Did I mention Tyvar's riding a reindeer?
No.
Tyvar's riding a reindeer.
See, that's the real card artwork I want. I would want to run a Tyvar anywhere I could if I could get an artwork of him riding a reindeer.
I mean, I'm just imagining his reindeer must be jacked as well. Like, it just must have, like, rippling muscle all across it. It has, like the hooves are made of metal. It's like, okay. I see how this is. Rudolph had gains. So she goes, Harold, your brother is, he goes, a fool and a braggart, not a liar. He prevented me from making a mistake here, and I am thankful for that. She goes, I'm pretty thankful too. He says, you got to get to the bridge, right? I can bring you. And so he brings her on top of his reindeer, and they just gallop through the zombies and demons and trolls and everything, and they get to they see Halvar, and he's like, oh, are you Halvar? And he's like, yes, I recognize the King of Skemfar, but who are you? She goes, I'm Kaya. I have something that belongs to you. And he goes, yes, the sword that Cole was forging me. I am a pig. I love the smell of bacon in the morning. The sword Cole was forging before he fell. I never thought it would be an elf returning it to me. And he says, I never thought I'd be returning it, helping one of the usurper gods. But it seems you're the only one who can set this mess right. So it's literally a Lord of the Rings situation where it's like, I never thought I'd be fighting side by side with a dwarf. He's like, no, what about fighting side by side with a friend? He's like, that I could do. And it's like, it's this insane... The story is so, like, there's just so much packed into this. It's so packed nicely into this, like, just like Tyvar. And, like, it's... You gotta read it. You really gotta read it. It's in the description. Read it. And then she's, of course, everything is happening. Everybody's fighting. And guess what rips through the sky, Joe? Go on, guess. Give one quick guess. What just got... What?
Is it Coma?
It is Coma. This is the moment. This is where it got sent.
That's not good.
And it's so big that literally everyone stops. The elves, the demons, the undead, they all just look up at this giant serpent that doesn't stop coming out. It just keeps going and going. They're like, what is this? They all know what it is. It's Coma. It's legendary. And Finn's like, hey, buddy, don't want your scale back, right? Also, at this point, everybody can see that the scales actually look exactly like Finn's scale. So that's pretty cool. So it's like, it's
That
true.
is good. Finn got confirmed. Just like, ha! I was telling the truth. Just like, okay, sorry.
So... as the serpent reached the rift into Carfell, it paused. The ghost's great gaping nostrils flared once, then twice. The terrifying and sudden speed it plunged the terror in the world, crushing dozens of nearby Draugr with an incidental swoop of its tail. Endless tracks of serpents seemed to slide into the icy rift before it was finally gone. So it just went through the battlefield and went into the Carfell, and it's literally just like a worm through an apple, just went into another realm just like that. Kaya's relief was so great, she almost didn't notice the other being spilling out of the rift Coma had just torn open. Angels, it looked like, with great feathered wings of white and black and brown and red, armed and armored, many of them roaring with sudden and startling fury. Not angels, she realized after a moment. Valkyrie. Inga had told her about them. Arbiters of judgment, guardians of the heroic souls for fighting and feasting in Starnheim. They slammed into the demons from above, feathered wings tangling with leather membrane as they tumbled out of the air together or rebounded off clashing steel. So now the Valkyrie are here. It was literally the flight of the Valkyries. They're like, and they just shove. All of these things are happening at the same time. It's like, yes.
Sounds like an epic battle.
It is. It's super cool. And then there's a troll, and it's about to kill Kaya. And the troll gets struck with this like little blade. But it's not a blade. It's a piece of glass. And as it hits the glass hits him and it absorbs him, and then he shatters. And they're like, what are you? And of course, this is Nico. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, cool, Nico, that's not Kaldheimian at all, so I'm guessing you're a planeswalker. We'll talk about that later. Let's kill some more demons and zombies. And so they're doing this. They just go through it, and they're cutting through more stuff. And Halvar's like, as long as we can hold this, I can close everything. And well, I'll just say this next part. As Vargoth stalked toward forward, Kaya saw Tyvar jab that brass blade of his into the demon's wing. He roared with pain and fear, reaching back to grab Tyvar and taking his eyes for a moment off the rest of them, which is just the opportunity Kaya needed. She was trying to do the hero thing now. But Kaya had spent a long, long time as an assassin. The motion was fluid, easy, almost effortless. No phasing, no magic. She slipped in, past Vargoth's arm, and swung an axe clean through his throat. The demon stumbled forward, both hands going to the mess of tarry blood suddenly spilling from his neck. He took one more step, reaching out a claw, and collapsed. Kaya didn't even have time to exhale. Behind them came a sudden rushing sound like water above. The sky rippled with a wave of color, and the same divine greens and purples and blues around the gods. She watched it sweep over the great rift on the battlefield. The one Draugr were still pouring out of, slowly. Like a healing wound, the rift began to shrink and close. There, the moony, wide-eyed face of a child stared open-mouthed as the god of battle sealed up the holes in the world. Yeah, thought Kaya. This one will make a pretty good saga. By the end, Tyvar was saying as they crossed the now quiet battlefield, made muddy from the trumping of countless boots, and his sweat soaking the earth, falling like him like the raindrop of 1,000 Valkyrie tears. I personally slew close to 100 Draugr and 3 demons! It is my guess, though, that they will be telling tales of you for a long time. The woman who killed Vargoth, slayer of the Bloodsky sire. Why, I can almost hear it now. And then Kaya's like, well, you make sure they get the details right. Actually, I'm not sure I'll be around to correct them. I'd like to see what there is to see out there in the multiverse. She goes, oh, I thought you weren't interested in planeswalking. I rush to judgment. Then you've taught me its value. Had you not been here, I don't know what would have happened to our worlds. Chaos and destruction, I imagine. On an even greater scale. Perhaps there's a plane, a people out there who need my help, if Kaldheim needed yours. And then she's like, well, what about the glory? Like, you're just leaving it all behind. He goes, oh, I'm not worried about that anymore. I don't believe the people here will ever forget about what you did here. And, I mean, just that idea that he says that, they can never forget what she did, is really cool. And it's cool because she says he was guileless. And he's like, he was just honest. He's honest. He's an honest guy. And she's like, maybe I'll see you around. He goes, oh, you will. And next time it's my deeds that will go down in the sagas. And so, like, everyone is getting their ending. From this. At the crossroads, raided Inga Runais along with the other leaders of the clans. Arni, Sigrid, Finn. They all survived. And then there's Nico. Harold was also there. Literally, all the sentient races basically are united at this moment. So they defeated the Draugr. They killed the demons. Everything is like, I mean, they didn't kill everything. Everything is like, everything that was in Bredegard is now trapped on there, but there's nothing new coming in. So they can just kill anything that's attacking them. And of course, it goes it's the same across all Bredegard, probably across all the realms. It was roaming for a long time. There's no telling what slipped through. Now, who do you think responds to this? Who do you think responds to that proposition that there's a bunch of things that need killing? A bunch of dangerous things that need killing. A bunch of dangerous demonic things that need killing. Who's just grinning and looking forward to this.
Oh, Arnie.
It's Arnie Brookenbrow. But that said, everyone seems pretty good, and they saved the plane. Now, all that said, Kaya finds out Nico's from Theros. It's all pretty cool. Everyone goes about their separate ways. Now, remember how I told you we we're going to see the ending coming?
We also haven't seen Vorinclex yet.
Here's the ending. Essica was dying. That wasn't supposed to happen. She was a god. By her hand, in fact. The gods were freed from their mortality, from aging, from the final closing in of the dark. It was Essica who brewed the potion of divinity from the sap of the world tree, the draught that kept death at bay. And yet she could feel the life escaping her, running down her arms, her body, her face. She couldn't move her legs. She would have fallen to the ground by now if the monster who had done this was not holding her up with one raw, flesh-colored claw. He tilted her to one side, regarding her with those dark, empty eye sockets. It had found her, this thing, in her sanctum. The place where she drew the sap and brewed the cosmos elixir. Nobody, nothing, had ever found her. A voice rose from the creature's throat then, an odd amalgamation of tones and deliveries, as if the words had been stolen from other voices, synthesized into something new. Not even hunger in you. Not enough fear to survive. Soon, though. It dropped her, then, and stalked back toward the well that ran to the heart of the tree. Essica tried to raise her arms. She had never been a warrior, not like Halvar or Toralf. But she would fight with everything she had left to defend the world tree. Her arms wouldn't obey her, though. She tried to shout, to call for help, but the only thing that came out was a bubbling wet crook. She watched helpless as the monster reached the well. She could only imagine the corruption it would cause. But to her surprise, it produced one of her bottles. It must have taken it from her during her fight. It dipped the bottle into the well and held it up to the light. Inside, the sap of the world tree shimmered with all the colors of the realms. It was the most beautiful thing in the world, in any world, as far as Essica was concerned. Sample acquired, it said, in its stitched-together voice. I am ready to return. The light in the room seemed to be fading, or maybe that was her vision going. Suddenly there was a bright, strobing light in the center of the chamber, a hissing, sparking red glow that began as a single star and spread slowly into a circle. The circle widened. This was no omen path. She could see now. It was magic she had never seen before. From the other side of the Voring portal came a sound so unearthly and strange she almost didn't recognize it as a voice. Welcome back, Vorinclex. We step ever closer to perfection. Phyrexian gods, man!
Oh my god, I'm so ready.
It's such a good cliffhanger! Oh my gosh! Also, because it's not included in any of the other things, I will mention that the way they got Vorinclex here, they do say that in order to get him there, that he had to basically be dead. When they brought him, they basically threw him into Kaldheim. Most likely using a planar bridge, but organic material cannot go through the planar bridge. So what happened is that basically just his metallic skeleton was all that was left, and that it wasn't until something touched him that he was able to start regrowing his organic bits, which is why he looks slightly different than the Vorinclex that we saw in New Phyrexia. So that's why he has like more of a bear-like appearance, because that was the kind of things he was eating here to gain his body. So by the end, of course, he'd eaten enough people to be able to absorb their language, which is why he was able to talk the way he did. That said, Vorinclex might have killed Essica, which is really cool, especially because Essica would have had to die, and she'll wind up in Starnheim because she actually fought valiantly against a monster and did not cower. So, I don't know what that's going to mean.
If it's going to be insane when we come back to this plane.
The plane has a lot of open potential. The characters are very rich, And then, of course, the two planeswalkers that were introduced, and Tyvar and Nico, are both fantastic. Nico is a great, anti-establishment kind of character with a lot of opportunities to grow and kind of find their own path that they've been searching for. Tyvar is this, I mean, it's just so much to Tyvar. And then his character too. I mean, come on. It's fantastic.
His character seems mostly fleshed out, though. What he needs is new situations.
Very fleshy.
What he needs is new situations to interact with.
Yeah. So that was Kaldheim. This is why I've been wanting to do this for a while. I'm glad that you were able to enjoy it.
That was so good. And Phyrexia got set up even more. We're going to have the Praetors as gods.
Yeah. It's going to be insane. What I want to see is over the next few sets, seeing the Phyrexian Praetors showing up on the different planes with just their singular card. So like maybe Jinkataxis and Strixhaven is trying to steal some kind of special scroll or whatever.
Yes.
Stuff like
perfect for him.
And so, and then after that one is going to be Dungeons and Dragons. It's a core set, so they probably wouldn't do anything. But if they did, they could probably have something like, I guess, Yaldred or Urabras. But Jinkataxis makes more sense.
Isn't Yaldred dead?
Yaldred should be dead. That's what. Well, they haven't said. They said that Elesh Norn took care of it. Took care of her. Don't know what that means exactly.
So she's either mind controlled or dead.
Yeah, they could always retcon it to whatever they want. But the point being that I'm really looking forward to seeing Phyrexian God as a creature type, and I mean it's going to be Elesh Norn, but yeah, it's insane. It's crazy insane, and I am so looking forward to it. And this entire the set was well designed, and the characters were well made, and it was just a fun time all around. If you guys have anything in particular, like maybe there's a character that you want me to talk about, or you have a question about, I can actually just reply with a comment if it's a really short thing, or we can make an additional video if it's interesting enough, with enough things to it. Also, if you have anything from the past, like older stories that you want us to go into, because we did a whole thing on Jace, we could do it on other characters like Chandra or Garruk. Garrick, sorry. We're going to call him Garruk. We don't care. And Joe, take it away. Any last words before I send you to Starnheim?
Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to go ahead and catch you guys next time with the playthrough. But don't forget, leave a comment. Let us know what you guys like to see from us Magic-wise. We are the Magic Channel. By this point, go ahead and catch our streams. We should be streaming some Magic, some MTG Arena.
Yes, well, we should already have been playing Magic Legends too. So we'll have some of that too. Hopefully
Definitely
Magic Legends is good.
I hope so.
Yeah. Fantastic.
But anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much. It's thanks to viewers like you that we're the boss watching the watches of the boss. Bye. Thanks for League of Legends.